Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining today's webinar on Freshservice Analytics. We are very excited to have all of you in this session with us today. Grab a cup of coffee and settle in. This is going to be an interesting 30 minutes with loads of information about Freshservice Analytics. I'm Hema Lakshmi. You can address me as Hema. I'm one of the product experts with Freshservice. And as you all know, Freshservice has been around for the last 6 years. And these 6 years have been an amazing journey for Freshservice, and it's truly wonderful to see how Freshservice has evolved to what it is today. Throughout the session of this webinar, you feel free to ask your questions in the chat panel of the webinar, and Deepika and the rest of our panelists will be happy to answer you.
Hey guys, this is Deepika here. Thank you so much for joining the webinar today.
Now let's go into the webinar. I want to tell you a gist of what to expect in the next 30 minutes. I'll give a brief introduction into Freshservice Analytics, why it is important, what you can do with it, and all of that. And then we're going to dive deep into the 5 new things that I want to bring to you today. And throughout this webinar, again, please feel free to ask your questions on the chat panel. We have a set of panelists who are going to answer you. First things first, why do we even need analytics? Can't we just go up to an agent and ask him, how many tickets did you resolve today? Can we just not pull out the data right from your agents or right from your team? But how can you ever make business decisions, or how can you even comprehend these numbers when they are scattered all over your team? If it's a bigger organization, it's all over the floor. This is where analytics is going to help you. Analytics is going to give you clear-cut numbers with metrics in graphs and in very visually pleasing manner, which helps you understand what's happening in your IT. And with the great understanding of what's happening, you'll be able to make better business decisions, which then convert into better business outcomes. That said, it's not just me who thinks analytics is important. Even Forrester says that 30 businesses who believe in analytics and take analytics-driven decisions have 30% faster growth. And it's not just the growth. They're going to take 1.8 trillion from their less informed peers, aka competitors, annually. Now, do you want to be an organization who's going to lose to a competitor because you don't want to use analytics? Of course not. So let's go see why we want analytics. And it's not only Forrester. Again, we also have MicroStrategy, who says that 90% of professionals who use analytics believe that analytics has helped them drive digital transformation initiatives. And digital transformation initiatives, of course, tops the list of all of our priorities when it comes to the future roadmap of IT in our organization. Now, with that context set, I want to quickly talk about what Freshservice Analytics is all about and a quick basics of what Freshservice Analytics can do. Now, what do we expect from analytics tool? Any analytics tool for that matter. We want to create widgets. We want to create numbers, metrics, what we want to know. But honestly, who wants to do it? Who wants to do the frustrating job of setting up several filters and just getting out one metric that's going to be used someday? To answer this, we have the intelligent widgets that are created in Freshservice. Now, these widgets are created based on your custom attributes, the custom attributes that you have created in the Freshservice Analytics portal. Now, let me quickly take you to the UI and show you how you can create a new report using these widgets. Now, to go to the Analytics home, you can just click on Analytics right from this icon here on the left. So this is the analytics homepage, the dashboard of analytics that you can see here. We have all of the pre-existing reports right here. To create a new report, you need to click on this button at the top right corner. And you can give a name to your report. You can also choose whether you want this report to be visible only to yourself or you want it to be visible to everybody. Now we have created the report. Now all we have to do is add widgets into this. Now these are the widgets that I was talking to about. These are the widgets that are created based on the custom attributes that you have created. Now let's just drag and drop a bunch of widgets. To create a report. Now I have added the widgets. Now we need to save it. Now the report has been saved. We have created a report in less than a minute with 4 widgets with 4 different metrics. Now that's a first. Right, so now you have a report. What next? Take a guess. You have a report. What would you do next? That's right. We need to send this report to people who want to see it, to people who are concerned about the IT performance. They want to know what is going on in your IT. Now, let's say you're walking into your work Monday morning. You're pumped with work, you're enthusiastic, but then the first thing that you have to do is schedule 10 reports to 30 different people. Now, I wouldn't want my Monday to start like that. And that is why we have the option to schedule these reports at any time that you want to anybody that you want it to go to. We have the scheduling reports option right here. Let me show you how you can do that. So now that we have created this report, let's say that we want to schedule this report to somebody. Here's the report. Now you have the option of scheduling it daily, weekly, or monthly, and you can be precise to the exact minute that this particular report reaches your recipient. And here you can enter the recipient. And in the subject line, you can add notes that you want to convey them. You can be very precise in what you want to say. And here in the description, you can describe what this report is all about. Now that you have created the subject and description, you can save it and this schedule will be saved. This report will reach the recipients at the particular time that you have created. With that, I have something for you. Now, this is a screenshot of one of my favorite reports. This is my favorite because it follows a lot of best practices. Now, here is what I like the best about it. Now, when I enter my office on the first day of the week or the last day of the week, I have whatever I want to see right at the top. Now, these are the exact numbers that I want to know first thing in the morning. As soon as I come in, I want to know how many tickets are open, how many tickets are high priority, and what is the reopen ticket counts. And these are the things that I don't really want to drill down and identify, spend 30 minutes to just know these numbers. Now, this is what makes it very easy to have all these numbers present right at the top. Also, here I can see a trend of received, resolved, and unresolved tickets over the year. Here you can clearly see that in March, there have been a bunch of unresolved tickets. It could be because of agents going off on holidays or some big data center issue, but it gives you a trend of which month was the most problematic month for your IT team. With that said, I'm going to go into the 5 new things that you could do with Freshservice Analytics. First one I want to talk about is measuring agent performance. Now, we all know that agents have multiple metrics that they can be measured upon. A few that comes to my mind are the first response time, the average response time, and the number of tickets that they resolved within the SLA, or the number of tickets that they had to resolve once the SLA was breached, and so on. So we have several metrics. Easily, we can make up to 6 to 10 metrics to measure one agent. Now, let's say you have 10 agents in your team, and you want to measure all of them to identify the top performer of your team. What are you going to do? Do you have to identify all of these metrics for each of these agents, pull in a report, an Excel sheet of all of these reports, and then compile them into one Excel sheet, and then just saying this is boring. Who would want to do this without losing their sanity? This is why we have correlation between service metrics. Here you can see that in the x-axis, you have all of the agents mentioned here. And in the y-axis, you have all of the metrics that you want to check. And on this, you can just easily identify the top performer just by looking at the tabular column. Now let's go take a look at how to create this particular widget. I'm going to go into a pre-existing report. And here there is a widget which says agent performance, which has resolved tickets, average response time, and first response time. Let's go into this. Here we have all the resolved status. We have the average response time, and we also have the average first response time in business hours. But we want all these metrics for every agent in your team. How can you get that? You can get that by grouping these metrics by agent names. I'm going to apply this. Let's see what happens. Here it is. Here you have all of your agents on the left and all of the metrics at the top right. And here you can clearly see that this particular agent has resolved more number of tickets and the average response time and the average first response time. You can easily compare these metrics and identify the top performer. And not just these three metrics, you can also create any number of metrics, the maximum being 10. You can create these metrics and apply them to have a clear table view of all of these metrics. Now you have seen the correlation between service metrics and how to use it to identify the top performer in your team. Let's go to the next one. How to identify the area of delay in resolving a ticket. Now let me give you an example. Let's say that you have a ticket coming in, and this ticket is being assigned to an L1 agent. Now this L1 agent analyzes this particular ticket, takes a couple of hours to analyze it, and then identifies that this ticket has to be escalated to the L2 agent. Now this L2 agent is taking 3 days to identify the issue, fix it, and resolve the ticket. Now L1 agent has spent 3 hours in that ticket, and the L2 agent has spent 3 days in the same ticket. But if you see the entire resolution time spent for that one ticket, it would be 3 days and 3 hours. But the granular detail of which agent spent more time on that ticket is not visible. So how do you go on about identifying which agent spent more time? We have solved this using time spent report. In this report, you can see that this particular incident was resolved in 5.2 hours. But this 5.2 hours is split between 2 agents here. You also have the category and priority of that particular ticket. So this gives you an exact idea of how many hours were spent for a ticket, and who were the agents who worked on that ticket, and how many hours did they take in that particular ticket. This gives you the clear understanding on all of these metrics. The next one is, how do you identify the most problematic category? Now, let's say that you'll get a lot of tickets. Let's say you get 100 tickets a day. And these 100 tickets will be spread over different kind of categories. A few could be about Wi-Fi issues. A few could be about printer issues. A few could even be as simple as password reset. Do you want your agents to be doing repetitive tasks, solving same kind of issues over and over again? Of course not. So you can identify the most problematic category, and once you find that, you can create a knowledge-based article on how to solve those issues. And when you get a ticket for that particular issue, you can reroute it to the knowledge-based article. This will free up your agent's time to do productive initiatives that will actually help the business. But how do you do it? In Freshservice, we have the option of bucketing the top 5 categories by ticket volume. Here you can see in this report, the Wi-Fi issues have the biggest number of tickets. The next one is printer jam and mail storage and so on. Let me take you to the UI and show you how exactly you can create this report. Here we have the widget called ticket volume by category. And let me just quickly show you what went into this. So here, the metric is total tickets and it is grouped by tags. You can also group it by category. So once you group them based on tags or category, you'll be able to see them listed out like this. And once you see this, you can have a quick idea of which particular category gives you the most problem. Let's say print a jam is a very common problem in any organization. So once you see that you have 39 tickets for print a jam, you can easily create a knowledge base article, make it available to your users, and reduce the number of tickets that come for print a jams. This is going to be very helpful in making your agents more efficient and helping them drive their energy into business productive initiatives. The next one that I want to talk about was how you can quickly track the metrics of different teams. Now, the metrics are going to be almost the same that were there for agent performance, like the average resolution time, average first response time, SLA compliance, and so on. So there are going to be an equal number of metrics that, that you need to measure different teams as well. So it would be around 6 to 10 again for different teams. Now, how do you go on about doing it? Do you want to create a report for every team? Do you want to create a report for every metric and then identify it for every team and then compile them and compare them? God, no. That is not the way to go on about it. That is why we have the option of globally filtering all the widgets within a particular widget, within a particular report. So here you can see now these are the metrics that I want for any team, irrespective of the team. This is all the metrics that I want to see. Average first response time, SLA compliance, agent interaction, and so on. But when I want to see it only for a hardware team, I can simply add the filter agent group for hardware team. That is all I need to do to get these numbers pertaining to the hardware team. Let me show you in the UI. Now, this is the report that we were talking about. And here you can see that we have all of these reports, agent performance, total tickets grouped by status, ticket volume by category, and so on. Now, here is the global filter that I just spoke about. You can add this filter by agent group. The agent group's name is hardware. So this filter means that I want to see all of these metrics, but I want it to be seen only pertaining to the hardware team. So once I apply that filter, we're going to see all of the widgets, the same widgets, but the numbers are going to be different because it's only for the hardware team. You can visibly see that the numbers are different. So this is how you will be able to identify different teams. Now, if you want to see the same number for a facilities team, all you have to do is just edit it and change it to facilities team. Now that we've seen that, we've come to the fifth point which we had for today. Transparent dashboards for your team. Now, this is a tricky one. What does this mean? So every IT team typically has a dashboard running in one of the pillars around their team. And this dashboard will usually have all of these widgets crowded, not able to understand anything out of it. And this is a very difficult scenario. You want to change this by having the widgets that you want to be seen at particular sizes and different customizations. Now, this is made available in Freshservice Analytics using custom dashboard, custom widgets. Here you can see the report where you have widgets of different sizes. These widgets are smaller but more closely placed. And here is a widget that is just one widget, but which is long enough that covers the entire page. You can create a report like this where you have different widgets of different sizes, and you can also emphasize on the importance of a particular metric just by making it bigger. Let me show this to you. So let's take this example. So here you can see that there are two pages. We have paginations now in Freshservice Analytics, and each page has different widgets. So what you can see now is that you cannot scroll down. You don't have to scroll down to see all of the widgets. All you have to do is just go to the next page to see all the widgets that you have. And also regarding customization of the widget size, all you have to do is just pull the widgets where you want it to be. And let's say that this is the widget that I want to be seen clearly. I can make this big. Now, when this is being projected on the dashboard, this particular widget will be seen very clearly, and you're also emphasizing the importance of this metric by making it big. Or if you have a metric that is crowded, that has a lot of data in it, you can also use it to have a bigger space in that particular widget. Now, on top of this, you also have some options where you can rename these widgets. I'm sorry, these pages. You can rename them based on what you want to convey about these widgets. So you can do this, and also you can move around these pages based on how you want it to be seen. Also, you can add any number of pages, the maximum being 10. You can add up to 10 pages over here and have the same thing done to all of these pages. You can rearrange them, you can rename them, and do all of these activities. You can also have a particular widget covering the entire page. So you can have pages like this. You can have multiple pages with different sizes of widgets. This gives great customization options for you. With that, we have covered all the 5 points that I wanted to talk to you about today. Now, to be very honest, you guys have been one of the most engaging crowd that I've had so far in any of my webinars. And so I have a small surprise for you. I have a bonus functionality that I want to talk to you about. How do we deal with resignation or shift change of report recipients? Now let's take an example. Let's say that you have a John in your IT team, and John just decides to resign in a week from now. And now you're bombarded with the task of going through the reports where he is the report recipient, that in the report schedule, he is the one who is going to receive that particular report. Now that he's about to resign in a week, you need to change that email ID and replace it with someone else. How do you do it? Do you have to go into each report, identify where John is mentioned as the recipient, and then replace that email ID with a different email ID? Instead, wouldn't it be nice to have a list view of all of the schedules for your reports? And in that list view, it'll be great to also see the report recipients in one column, so that you can just quickly identify which are the reports that are about to reach John, or which of the reports are scheduled to reach John. Once you see that, you can directly edit that particular report and just replace his email ID. Let me show that to you. Now here is that screen where you can see the list view of schedules, and quickly show where you can find that in the UI. So in Analytics Home, if you scroll down a little bit, you have the reports. So in reports, you have schedules. And here you can see, oh, we have a John here as well. So let's say that our John is resigning in a week from now, and I want to change this email ID to someone else. I can directly edit it right from here. And let's say I want to change it to myself. So I have just changed it in one click, and I did not spend time in going through each of the report to just identify which of the reports will reach John. Instead, I had the easy view of list where John is the recipient of these reports, and I can just directly go and change that. And that's how you do it. Now we've come to the tail end of this webinar. I have 3 main key takeaways for you to remember. One is the difference between data and analytics. Now, this is going to tell you why analytics is important. And there are two different things. Data and analytics are two different things, and why analytics is crucial. The second one is how to drive business outcomes using analytics. Having analytics is one thing, but knowing how to use them to drive business outcomes is a completely different ballgame. And you need to understand analytics and how to use it effectively to have business outcomes out of it. The third one is even the seemingly minor functionalities that are available in Freshservice Analytics can be leveraged to manage your IT team much better. It makes your life easier to just manage your agents and manage your IT team in a very fast and efficient way. So these are the main key takeaways that I have for you. Thank you so very much for joining today's session. It was a lovely session. We had a great time hosting this webinar. Thank you very much.